Hello and welcome to another Wolves related video on my channel. This time we're talking about the match between Wolves and Birmingham, which is taking place tomorrow night, live on Sky again. It should be a good game, should be a big crowd, half price tickets, £12.50. Unfortunately I can't go, but I'll still be able to watch it on telly. Looking at the history of Wolves against Birmingham, Wolves have actually had the better of fixtures between the two teams. Wolves have won 60 to Blues' 37, with 30 draws in between, so Wolves much the stronger team. The last two games we've played at Molineux have both been 0-0 and both fairly disappointing. The 0-0 draw in 2014 was Gary Rowett's first game with the Blues, and we'll come on to him in a minute. Blues haven't beaten us at Molineux since November 2009 in the league. They did beat us in the cup in either 2011 or 2012, I can't really remember, but it was a replay of the third round. We won the corresponding fixture in August 3-1, which was, I think, put us third in the league, and we were looking very, very strong at that point. Bodvarsson, I think that was maybe the last goal he scored for us. You can correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, but I think that was the last goal he scored. And then moving on to Blues a little bit, and Gianfranco Zola, he's been there now for 12 games. They've only picked up 6 points out of 36 since he came in. They were 7th in the table when Gary Rowett left them. They're now 16th with 40 points, so they've gone on a real slide, and hopefully we can take advantage of that tomorrow. But we've been poor at home. I think we've only won 4 games at home. Personally, now I'd like to see us playing 2 up front, or having the sort of number 10 role be a more attacking minded player rather than Dave Edwards, who's done a fantastic job all season, and I love him and he's my favourite player for the Wolves at the moment. But I think Joe Mason, if he's fit, should be in there, or playing Bodvarsson and Dicko, the two of them up front, because Bodvarsson against Chelsea was just completely isolated every time he had the ball. No fault of his own, he had no option, he had to run it himself and he lost it a lot. Dicko as well in recent games, because of his lack of fitness and form, he struggled playing up there by himself. So I hope that we can have 2 strikers playing up there, whether it's Joe Mason who can drop back into the midfield, or Bodvarsson and Dicko who are 2 attackers and can go for it. One piece of disappointing team news is that Conor Ronan is now out for the rest of the season. He's got a back injury, so we wish him all the best with that, because he's been a very bright star in the games he's played so far this season, and I think he'll have a really good season next year. I'm quite excited for next season, so long as we can stay in the Championship, which is a bit of a worry at the moment. We've got some of these really young players who are coming through and doing really well in the first team, which is great to see. I'm not going to make a prediction for the game today, because every time I do I'm often wrong, and I always predict Wolves to win anyway, and we very rarely do. Blues of course lost their last game 4-1 against QPR. Gianfranco Zola is reportedly going to be having I think he's had a meeting, or is expecting a meeting with their Chinese owners at some point this week. So whether this is a do or die for him, it could inspire the Blues players to get something out of the game. I am really hoping that Paul Lambert has got stuck into them in training this week, and they're going to come out all guns blazing, big crowd behind them, and hopefully 3 points. Well, I've just spent the last 20 minutes or so editing the video for the match tomorrow, and I realised that I hadn't spoken about any of my favourite or memorable matches between Wolves and Birmingham. I can't remember clearly any games that we've won since I've been following the Wolves, which is since the turn of the millennium, since about the year 2000. I have got memories of us going close against them in 2007 in the build-up to that sort of playoff run. We lost, I think it was Easter time, we lost 3-2. Michael McIndoe missed a penalty to make it 3-3. I think, was there a goalkeeper called Colin Doyle saved it. That was a memorable game for me. I remember the only time I've ever broken a seat in a football ground was at St Andrews. Again, Easter time, I think it was a Monday night, 2009, a couple of games before we got promoted. Blues of course were hot on our tails in second place, and they won 2-0, and when we conceded the second goal I was so angry with Wayne Hennessy, because he just was, he could have been the hero, but he just sort of got pushed into his own net, and I stamped on my chair like that and broke it. That's the only time I've ever been a football hooligan. If you enjoyed this preview, then let me know, give a like on the video, subscribe. There's a few of my vlogs that might be of interest to any Wolves fans, one from the Liverpool game, one from the Chelsea game. Make sure you subscribe if you really enjoyed, because I'll be doing lots more of these now, one before the game and one after the game, a review and a preview. I'm also thinking of doing videos about my favourite Wolves 11, or the worst Wolves 11, or my favourite games or my least favourite games. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those.